Hi, I'm Kenny MacGregor. I'm from Scotland and I'm an easy rider. So I work in banking and financial services, and I've been effectively working for the same company for 21 years. I've spent, as I said, a lot of time travelling with clients, and we were fortunate enough to have 3 years in Tokyo before we came to Bangalore. So the opportunity to travel around the world has been a huge benefit for me and for the family, and that's something that we've really enjoyed over the last few years. Craft beer, I guess I was first exposed to it back in Scotland, maybe 10, 15 years back, maybe a little longer. Scotland and the UK in general had, I guess, what you would call more of an ale scene, like real old-fashioned, old men's beers, bitters and things like that. And the kind of global environment that we're in now, everybody knows what's happening in the craft beer scene in the US or what somebody's experimenting with in Japan. So those ideas kind of translate and move around really quickly. You know, a great example of that was a new style of beer called a Brut IPA. And that I actually tried in Bangalore for the first time. So these ideas move around really quickly. Brewers share ideas. So I would say the differences are narrowing, but certainly, you know, the market in the UK is probably still less mature than it is in the US, but it's probably more mature than it is in India. But that, I think, is just time. Apart from the travel aspect, I have a couple of different hobbies and pastimes. A little bit of a strange one. I collect sneakers or training shoes, depending on how you know them. I have a pretty large collection, and I'll show you them a little bit later if you'd like. I've been a somewhat regular visitor to Arbor over that time. Not as regular as I would like, given that I live out in the boonies, as my friends would say, in Whitefield. But whenever I get the chance to go in, it's always great to go in and see what they've been doing with, again, new styles of beer or just their regular beers, which are enough in and of itself to keep bringing you back. The consistency is good, the flavour profiles are good, especially with my two favourites are the Raging Elephant and the Beach Shack, and they're enough to keep me coming back time and time again. So they do interesting things with the menu. They keep mixing things up, aged beers, soured beers. It's an interesting return every time to see what's happening next. I've always been a football fan since I was very young. My team back home, I used to go and support home and away in Scotland every weekend. So I needed something to replace that, and BFC were the placebo to keep me with my football fix for the next couple of years. I just recently received my updated BFC kit with the 3rd star on top now, so excited for the new season to start next year and get back into the West Block with all my buddies up there as well. I mean, whilst I like drinking Arbor beers in Arbor, you know, you get the full range there at any given time. Any of the people that are on some of the Facebook groups like Craft & Co or Friends of Froth, they'll have probably seen me sitting in my favourite place in the world, which is Palolem Beach in South Goa, with a can of Beach Shack. So I don't know, people talk about having a happy place. That's probably my happy place, sitting in Palolem with a nice cold Beach Shack. And I have Gaurav Sikka, the MD of Arbor, to thank for hooking up the place that I normally spend my time in South Goa. Just a little plug for Art Resort in South Goa and Palolem. A great little place, and they now have a full stock of Beach Shack and the other Arbor beers as well. I think that pound for pound, Bangalore's beers are amongst the best in India, without question. You know, there are certain places in Pune and Mumbai and to a certain extent up in the northeast as well, where there are good beers. But in terms of the number of places in Bangalore itself, whether it's, you know, Windmills, Beer Garden, Arbor, you know, the list goes on and on, all pushing out really good quality beers. So I think in terms of volume, Bangalore is definitely the number one place for beer in India. But I think it's, as I said before, it's really exciting to see a lot of the brewers in India experimenting with new ideas, with new styles that maybe aren't, maybe India's not quite ready for some of those styles yet, but as the palate matures and people understand the differences in good quality beer, then I think the scene here is only going to go one way. You only have to look at the number of breweries now in Bangalore. I think there's in excess of 50. It just shows you that there's an appetite for it. Definitely miss my whiskey. I'm not sure what other cultural aspects you'd like us to introduce. I can show you my kilt later, or as some people like to call it, a skirt. But it's not entirely uncommon to see guys in here in India with a skirt or a skirt type device. But I think when people see me out wearing my kilt, I usually get a couple of double takes, and people are wondering what the hell is this guy wearing. So.